money, the issue of money. Somebody said that money cannot resolve everything, but sure, it can solve at least 70% of the problem of most people. Money, a lot of money is needed if you are about to pull up a vision. Money is needed for kingdom come. Money is needed to live, to eat, to dress, to execute a vision, to run a company. Money is usually what I call the common denominator, because you might always find yourself needing money. And if you know that, then why not talk about money? So today we're talking about money, and I'm basing myself off a book that I read that I found really inspirational. I was listening to a seminar by Jim Collins. If you don't know him, it was a very prominent businessman and leader in the 90s. And he mentioned that he used to teach kids up to 40 years old who wanted to become rich before 40 using a book. And the book was called The Richest Man in Babylon. So knowing I need money, I went to read the book. And today, based off that, I'm giving you advice about money. So you better stay to the end. And if you're not on YouTube, you better run to YouTube. Let's dive. Welcome in today's episode of Leading with Glory. Yeah, I did that. It is my pleasure having you today, and my name is Glory Divine, and this is Leading with Glory, the place where young people are made to become leaders God can trust and that men want to follow. And let's dive into today's topic: money, detache. So yes, today we're talking about money, and most importantly, we're talking about how to build wealth and how to become rich. And I'm basing myself off of a book I read that's called The Richest Man in Babylon. Let's dive without waiting. The first thing that books recommend if you're trying to become rich or to stop yourself from becoming poor is to keep your pocket away from flattening. And what that means is the book basically says save at least 10% of everything you earn. You know, if you earn a monthly salary, you're an entrepreneur or whatever, if you only try keeping 10% of all your revenue of the month, you do that the first month, the second month, the third month, by the end of the year, you actually have something. That means that if occasions arrive, if emergency come, you have money saved. So that was the first tip of the book. Keep your purse from flattening, and that by saving at least 10% of everything you make. The second advice the book gave that I feel like is important in this generation is to manage your expenditures. I feel like we like living above our means, or we like living within our means. But the book actually says to live below our means and to make sure that we never spend more than 90% of whatever we are making. What does that mean? That you basically need to learn budgeting. There are so many budgeting tools out there. And no, budgeting is not a prison. Budgeting is actually giving you freedom to live the kind of life that you want without having to be surprised every time by every small circumstance. So if it means cutting a little bit of your eating out, if it means cutting a little bit on your shopping to live below your means, do that. Live below 90%. Never go beyond the 90%. That's what the book says. But I know for some people it's very hard. So what I'll say is, you know that amount of that percentage that you decided to save? Subtract minus 100 and don't live below that. That means that if you decided that you were saving 5%, live below 95%. Make sure you always live below your means. That includes even if you are trying to rent the most gorgeous house ever. In terms of budgeting skills or tools, you can use spreadsheets. There are apps there that helps you budget your money and track your money based on like what activity, categorize your money and stuff like that. Some people still like going the old way and using a book and a pen, and that totally works if you're accountable. There are note apps, notebooks. There are so many things you could do to budget. So that's the second tip. The third tip is to make your goal to multiply. And what that means is a part of the money that you are saving, use part of it to invest. I heard this quote somewhere that was saying that the difference between rich people and poor people are assets. Rich people invest in assets that appreciate in value. Poor people waste the money. I have a beef. I usually say that if you want to give me the most perfect gift ever, give me land. And it's an announcement to anybody that wants to give me land. Provided, no, let me not say anybody, but sure you get the point. Me, I like land. If you want to give me land now, I'll take it too. If provided it's good land, that you got the money the right way, that there is no scam. Me, I like land. Why? Because I understood very early that land doesn't lose its value per se. Things like land only appreciate in value. You may buy it for how much? Let's take 10,000 now, 10K now. By the time 10 years pass, you may never be able to sell that land again for 10K. Why? Population grows. People need land. Land becomes in demand, especially when you bought it at the right place. So, I'm saying it again, make your goal to multiply. Nowadays, there are so many ways to invest. You can invest in companies, MTN, Google, Netflix. Why are you watching Netflix and you're not investing in that? I think that was Mama Funke who asked that question. And yeah, it's a valuable question. Try investing in some of the big corporations that you use every day. And if you are scared of investing in corporation or in tech or things like that, invest in buying land. Let's move to the fourth advice. Guard your treasure from loss. I know. You know when you buy a ticket to like travel, especially when it's a flight ticket, they'll be like, do you want to put insurance so that you have 100% refund in case you cancel? And sometimes because of those extra $12, there is like the pressure of saying, no, I don't need it. Now, let me tell you a story of what happened to me. I was traveling to go see my family and I booked a flight and I found the cheapest flight. It was so beautiful with a company, I won't name names. And it was about $1,200. So I was like, whoa, this is the best shot. Now they told me that I had to pay, if I remember, around $40 to actually insure my flight in case of things like delays, if I wasn't able to make it, if I had to cancel, and all of this stuff. I looked at $40 and I was like, nope, I'm not spending that much money. It so happened that I arrived at the airport late because there were issues, traffic. I missed my flight. Imagine how much I had to pay. I had to pay the exact same amount I paid and even more. I ended up spending an extra $1,400 or so to travel and meet my family. That would have not been the case if I had just paid the $40 insurance fee. You see, at the time I thought I was wise. At the time I felt like, I know this thing. I will arrive at the airport at time. Nothing can stop me. I got the cheapest price. I ended up paying double. What am I trying to say? This advice, this number 4 of securing your investment is really important. Sometimes it's just a couple of bucks, $6, $10. Sometimes it's more. But pay the price to secure your investments. The worst thing you want is to buy and then realize that you haven't insured it and all get lost. So that was number 4. Secure your investment. Go the extra mile to do investment due diligence. When private equity firms or hedge funds are trying to make an investment in a firm, they do their due diligence. Do as much research as you can on the industry or the investment you're trying to make. Research, ask questions, ask advice, put insurances, make sure your investments are secure. The 5th advice he gave, I really like it, and it is to make your dwelling profitable. And in simple words, it's better to own your own home than to rent. Yes, I know it may sound whatever, but try it. You are paying an amount of money per month to rent. Calculate that times 12 months times 20 years. How much does that make? Do you know that with that amount of money, you literally could have bought some land and potentially built a small house, an okay house for yourself. Yes. Things like renting, leasing, they seem very nice, but if it's for personal use, I really agree with this book. It's better to own your home. And I see people nowadays like building and renting part of their house so that they keep making money out of it. And then when they have more, they can pursue the tenants or they can build another. So that was an advice that I really think is important. Make your dwelling profitable. Better own a house than renting a house. Yeah. The other thing or the next tip that the books about that I really like, which is the next tip. Is it number 6? Yes. Plan for retirement. When you are young, it feels like retirement will never come. I remember when I was 12. I was 12 yesterday and they'll ask me, how many years old are you? And I'll always try to decrease my number of years. So I'll be like, I'm 11. I'm 11 and 7 months. I'm 11 and 11 months, And now I shouldn't even talk that loud. But you get the point. I'm no longer 12. And you too, very soon you will no longer be 25, 26, 30, or 16. So start planning for your retirement now. This is the best time to start planning for retirement. And if you're in the US, there are things like a 401k that you should get. And if you're on the other side, Nigeria, Cameroon, or wherever, start planning for your retirement. It could be investing in things like land. It could be investing in things like stocks. It could literally be investing in things like business. Why not start a business? The thing is, I think it was Apostle Joshua Selman that said that the day that a company gives you your offer letter, they're also giving you your exit letter. As the offer letter came, it also came with the retirement letter telling you that as you are starting this job, very soon you'll be retiring, or very soon you'll be off. So don't just feel like you are young, and because you are young, you have the liberty to do whatever you have or want or whatever you put it. Remember, time flies. Life is short, like people say. But I think it's not just about the shortness of it. It's the fact that it passes so fast. Like, we are in April and January started, it feels like yesterday. Time flies, and before you know it, you have gray hair. And I pray you do have gray hair and that you do have white hair. And when that happens, I want you to have a retirement money somewhere. I don't want you to become poor or not being able to afford life because you no longer can earn a salary. So start planning for a retirement now. Start planning for your later years now. And I even want to ask, start planning for your kids now. I mean, even if you don't want kids, start planning for the next generation now. You should be looking to leave a legacy, right? Especially if you are listening to this. I guess you should be wanting to leave a legacy. And in that case, please start planning now. The number 7 tip that the book about that I really love. The 7th thing you need. Increase your ability to earn. Increase your ability to make money. And that brings it back to the core point of value. You should be able to give value. You should be able to bring value. Value to a corporation, value to a society, build skills. I said it before. They used to tell me that education is the way to go, and I still believe education is the way to go. Just that education alone is no longer the way to go. It's education plus skills, education plus value, education plus knowing how to make money. What happens if you get a certificate and you don't have a job right away? Are you going to starve or go homeless? No. You need to learn money-making skills. And that is why this book says increase your ability to earn. What is learning a new skill? What is learning, AI agents are out there. You could learn that and make money. You could start freelancing. You could start building websites for people. You could start speaking. What are things that can give you money? Increase your ability to earn. And it doesn't mean that you have to do active work in that regard to get the money. But even if it's building a house and having people rent the house and then paying you, that is still ability to earn. Even if it's providing feedback, advice, getting at the cutting edge of your industry, being the best expert possible. Value. That's all I have to say. Increase your ability to earn, and that is self-development. And I've mentioned that I'll give you one last tip. And the last tip I'll say is seek advice. Seek advice. I'll tell you the story of somebody I knew. Somebody very close to me. The person heard that, of course, importing cars into the country from Dubai gives a lot of money. And without doing investment due diligence, they went ahead and bought cars and came. They didn't have a business plan and marketing strategy to sell the cars. They didn't gather enough information or advice on what sells, what doesn't sell, and all of that. What happens is that one of the car got stolen. The other car was pretty difficult to sell, so they sold it so that they could recuperate the loss of the other car. And the other car, they couldn't sell it either. That was a loss in investment. But you want to know why? Because they took advice from the wrong person. If you are trying to get into the jewelry business, why ask for advice to a carpenter? If you're trying to build the best of house, why not hire a good architect? Why not hire a good plumber from the get-go? Why not hire a civil engineer, someone who knows what they are doing so that they can advise you on the realities of the terrain of the industry you are going into? Why trying to get cheap labor? That is what will break you. So that's the last tip I had for you. Get the right advice. Advice is good, but good advice is better. Make sure the advice you are getting when you're trying to invest into an industry, launch something, whatever, is advice that is actually proven and tested. Reach out to experts, not, flabbergastas. That's a word I created. But this was Leading with Glory, and you got not 7 but 8 tips to make sure you don't stay poor. So please do not stay poor. I like people that are rich. I also want to know people that are rich. So do not stay poor. And if you missed the 7 tips, I'm sorry. Go back and rewatch the video. And I'll tell you, when you watch it, write it down. It's quite important. So I hope from today you start saving, you start making investment due diligences. You think about owning assets, land, your home, planning retirement, and all of this. And I'll see you at the top. Have a great day.